So today, for example, I collected business cards, right? We did. Does that imply, is that explicit, or is it a no that I can then email to all of you? Anybody? Yeah, no? Go ahead. It's implicit. Yes? Yes, it is implicit. I could email to you, and you could say no, right? Or I could run the risk that you would say you could report it as spam, perhaps. So what I say is, if you do trade shows, or let's say you have folks come in and they leave their business cards, or you collect business cards, I always say, here's your opportunity to have those touches. What makes this world different nowadays is actually you create relationships, and that's how you continue to grow your business. It's through your existing relationships. So I say, take that opportunity, take that bowl of cards and email everybody and say, thank you so much for stopping by our place. Better result is that they think, wow, you care, you took that time, thank you. I think you'll get better results. But yeah, they're explicit versus implicit. Which leads to, is a list that you purchase either of those? Correct. It is neither of those. So when we talk about, and everyone usually asks, can I buy a list? Yes, you can buy a list. But you also have to take the time to cull that list then. If you're going to buy a list, then 10 by 10, or 9 by 9, you might want to send an email, or are you interested, or do some sales calls. But mostly buying lists we find to be not very successful. So where do you build? How many of you answer your phone and say, did you know we have a mailing? No, I'm kidding. You don't want to say the first thing. But you might want to answer the phone and talk about service, and then say, by the way, we have an email that we send once a month, or we have a newsletter. You might want to rephrase it, right? It doesn't have to say, join my mailing list. But, you know, you can be pretty clear, or say, boy, yeah, every Friday we send out our new product list. Would you like to be, right, included in that? Gives you an opportunity to connect. At events and meetings, how many of you made a connection here with somebody and exchanged a business card? Anybody? I did. No, but it's a great opportunity, which is not the same thing as when you go somewhere, and I know you know this person, and they walk around and they're passing out, right? You never see that, they're just passing out business cards and they're just collecting them. You know that person's going to send you an email right away, right? You know that's going to happen. Those are the people I keep in my left pocket, because I'm probably not going to reach out to that person. But if I stopped and I spoke with you and we had a nice conversation for even a few seconds, right? But I know what you do now and I'm interested, that sounded great. When I get your email, I'm going to open that. I'm going to recognize it. So opportunities to collect. How many of you have joined my mailing list under your signature on your email? Nobody. Okay, write that one down. You need to have that one. That doesn't mean that you have it on your email service provider. That doesn't mean that it comes through. That means on your regular, whether you use Outlook or Gmail or Hotmail, whatever it is, so that anytime you send out something, you answer a question or answer an email back, they have that opportunity to join. A guest book. Any of you use guest books? They actually are kind of sweet. People think they're very personal. I'm just careful not to show anyone the email addresses of other people who signed in. People are very protective of their email address. And you all know why. Of course, you want to make sure it's connected to any of your social sites. So if you have a Facebook page, you want to make sure it has a join my mailing list. If you have a web page, you want to make sure it shows where else you're social and how to join a mailing list, right? You always want to give that opportunity to continue your connection. Over 50%, it's like almost 60% of people, if you hand them something and say, would you give us your information, we'll do it. So you want to integrate it in your social media. We talked about this right here on Facebook. You can see the join my mailing list. Or of course, when you have your newsletter, we're also here, you know, find us here also. Let people know where you can be found. And then one of the things with an email service provider is you can segment your list. So once somebody's joined, you can ask them some information. Tell them who you are, they see your face, they recognize you. When you join my mailing list, you see my picture and you know it's from me. And you want to describe maybe how often they're going to get an email, which might be helpful. You want to ask them about their interests. You could certainly ask for other contact information. I think that's really critical because people change email addresses. So it's always nice to have a phone number to say, hey, we've noticed you haven't opened your email a couple of times, and you know we're getting it bounced back. Have you changed your email address? They can tell you then, not interested, or you can pass it along, but at least you have a way of finding them. You can also ask where they connect socially. Maybe they're all Facebook fans, and then you'll know. I always, when you join my mailing list, and one thing to think about when you join your mailing list is you have choices of things you can ask folks. Do you think they will respond more if you ask for lots of information and make it all required? No. People don't like required information boxes. So pick the things that are most critical, like on my Join My Mailing list, I ask you what area you're most interested in coming to a seminar. So that if I'm in Fresno and I send you one, you're thinking, stop, right? So I try very hard to segment it so that it's appropriate to whatever area I'm looking to go to. And so you can think about that as you segment yours as well. I like to do this reminder about every 3 to 5 months. It's just you join my mailing list. You know, for those of you who've seen templates, it's typically at the bottom. You see that on a pretty standard template. You know, do you still want to stay on? But about every 3 to 5 months at the top of my newsletter, or I'll just send out a straight email off my own that goes to my mailing list and say, do you still want to stay as a subscriber, right? Because they continue to change. You can do it, like I said, in a template format, which I think is more friendly. You can use your, brand it. Then you can also say, hey, update your profile. Maybe there's information you want from them. You can ask for feedback. You could do a quick survey or a poll. Do you want to hear from us twice a month? It could be a 1 question, it could be a 3 question, but at least you're getting some interaction, which is what people want, is an opportunity to give you information back. Right? And make sure you could even put, like, here's where we are, find us on, and put the icons of wherever they could find you. Facebook, Twitter, whatever it might be.